It is the 2012 NAB show, and we are discussing the great content shift. Hello, everyone. I am Tyler Pyburn of the Pulse Network at thepulsenetwork.com, and we are, in fact, touching upon the shift in strategies, the shift in technologies, the shift in players, and the shift in marketplace. All of the above that really leads up to the great content shift. Now, right now, we're going to go ahead and we're going to talk about social TV, one of the more interesting shifts that's taken place across the digital media industry right now. And here to talk a little bit more about that, from BIA Kelsey, we welcome in Jed Williams right now. Jed, welcome in. How are you doing today?
Hey, Tyler, I'm good. This is a revolutionary idea. It's going to be fun to talk about it with you.
Oh, without a question. So tell me, kind of define social TV, because it is something that's really hit the industry by storm so far. How do you define it, really?
Yeah, I think that's the right question, right? I mean, it's such a nascent market still that I'm not sure there's one clear-cut definition at this point of what social TV is. Some people might call it viral video or social video across the broader web or the social web. Others might say it's second or third screen experiences, a la if I'm watching the old television screen, the primary screen, and I've got a mobile device or a tablet device or whatever the case might be, and I'm on a particular application that allows me to engage with that channel, with that network, with that content in new and dynamic ways, and share content and recommendations around a community or with a community around that content, that's social television. I think it really is encompassed in both of those definitions. But I think really, Tyler, what I would come back to is it's kind of the original definition of the community water cooler, right? I mean, for 50 years, we've all gotten together and watched television together with friends and families and work colleagues and random people at the restaurant or whatever the case might be. And now we're extending that to digital cross-platform experiences. So it's age-old social word-of-mouth, social water cooler extended to new technological platforms and user interfaces.
I was going to say, it almost seems to me, taking the conversation that once happened offline and bringing it online. And that's really the way things have kind of changed over the last couple of years. But one thing I really find interesting about all is the local part of it. And this is something that you deal with quite often. Talk a little bit more about social TV and that local ecosystem that's in place with it all.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's really still developing. Sometimes local is one of the last points that gets touched on or reached in a developing ecosystem, simply because there's so many challenges in extending something like this down market where local broadcasters can understand and take advantage of it, or on top of that, where it can really scale to all these different audiences and all these different marketplaces. But we're seeing that begin. It's a slow takeoff, but it's ramping up nonetheless. And local is always the holy grail. There's big dollars, there's big usage and audiences there, and that's where social television and these applications will ultimately go. And Tyler, I think some of the first signs we see of that are local broadcasters and television networks that have local presences and local audiences beginning to get more involved in building applications that bring people together in sort of a community socialized environment around their content, at market level, at station level. I think that's one example. I think a second example is beginning to extend the brand or advertiser experience down to the local market level. So that can mean local advertisers being able to integrate into this social content, or it can mean brand advertisers that may be showing on the primary screen, able to then extend a more targeted message on a second screen that might be, a store locator, a targeted offer or deal, something like that. All of those models are still coming together and beginning to penetrate the local space.
I was going to say, I think the most simplistic way to put it is, for a long time, newscasters would talk at you. Now they are, in fact, talking with you. That's the best way to put it. He is Jed Williams of BIA Kelsey. I am Tyler Pyburn of the Pulse Network. This is another conversation leading up to the 2012 NAB show.